What was something you thought would be easy, until you tried it? Snowboarding. I grew up on skis, and when I tried snowboarding, I literally just rolled down the entire mountain like a slinky on the stairs. I've heard several people say this. I have a couple friends that grew up in places that they could ski all the time. They said they thought snowboarding was going to be a piece of cake. Both said it kicked their ass. Everyone remembers their first day of snowboarding. I don't, but maybe that's due to the concussion. The amount of pain in the shins is too damn high. Skiing is basically like standing. If you can stand, you can ski. Snowboarding, you need to use every muscle in your body, or you die. As someone who does both, the best way I've found to describe the difference is that skiing is, in general, much easier to learn, but harder to get really good at. Whereas snowboarding has a much steeper learning curve, but once you get pretty good at it, you will progress very quickly. Yes. I was originally a skier and switched to snowboarding as a teen. This is what I have always said. Once you catch on to snowboarding, the progression is very fast, which is the opposite of skiing. The challenge with snowboarding is learning how to turn. The anatomy of a good turn requires enough speed to maintain stability, and enough commitment to the turn to dig the edge into the snow. Ironically, a beginner's instinct to take it slowly and cautiously amplify the likelihood of wiping out on a turn. Running. I was like, yeah, I smoke and drink, but I can definitely run like the wind. No. Quit smoking after my first run and am now 3 years smoke-free. Yes. I'm also almost 3 years smoke-free, and loving running. Totally changed my life. Playing the guitar. The jump from not being able to play anything to playing basic chords and a couple songs you like isn't that much, and it makes you feel like such a badass. But the jump again to a working musician is astronomical. I tried and just got burnt out, and it wasn't fun anymore. Playing guitar is so much harder than I thought it would be. I've been playing for about 6 months, and it's a ton of work. Somewhere between 100 and 200 practice hours, a lot of the fundamentals start connecting to each other and everything comes together. You're probably getting close to that. Seconded, but even then you are still really just a beginner, and that's okay. There is a huge difference in hours practice between someone who does it as a job every day and a hobbyist. Been playing for about 15 years just as a hobby. My ability sort of plateaued after about 5 years though. Sometimes I'll play for family or friends, and 90% of the stuff I play is fingerstyle, which just looks a bit more impressive than it actually is. They will be full of compliments, which is nice. But I know I'm not even a quarter as good as your average professional guitarist. I've been playing for about 5 years, and fingerstyle/fingerpicking is about as complicated as I do. It looks really sick and is pretty simple. I also suck at reading notes, barely passable, and it takes hours to figure out what I'm playing, so that's also slowing me down. I have really small hands, so the hardest part for me was building strength in my hands and fingers. I never was able to build calluses on my fingertips, so practicing always hurt so much. And playing through even one song from start to finish was so painful, I often had to stop partway through and give my fingers a break. Bar chords also hurt a lot. I stuck with it on and off for years, even practiced enough to be able to play and sing at the same time, but eventually gave up. If I didn't practice consistently, picking up the guitar again after a month or two away would be like starting over from scratch with the pain. Did you ever try a different guitar? I took a decade off from guitar when I inherited one from the sweetest aunt. I thought they would all be similar, but I was amazed how much easier it was to play everything. If you tried that, then just ignore me. A lot of the parts from that Ninja Warrior show. I'm a very physically fit guy and always thought that first course looked like a breeze. Then I found a local gym with a different element set up. Even just that very first part where you hop across a few platforms was tough. It is always unfair to some contestants. Some things such as the jumping and spider wall are very easy if you are a certain height, but I have seen many people fail just because they are not tall enough to do it. Even on the actual show, there was one girl that was too short to reach both sides of the spider wall and fell. However, when I was a kid I went to a Ninja Warrior training gym, and they had things such as the jumping, spider wall, and warp wall, except sizes so kids could do them. They were not any easier. Things like the warp wall were still the same size, and honestly, they were all very easy. It just takes the right strength and height. Honestly, a child would have an easier time on it if things were scaled down to their size than an adult. Even though they're less strong, their body mass is just so much less that it's easier to move it. For an example, I've put on weight, intentionally, going from 130 pounds at my lowest to my current weight of 148. Even though I'm significantly stronger now, I can only do maybe 2 pull-ups more than when I was 130. Why? Because while 18 pounds isn't a lot, moving it over and over is extra fatiguing. Cycling has entered the chat. Many of the hardcore cyclists are obsessed with power to weight ratio, spending hundreds on parts to save a couple grams on their bike. You can imagine how this quickly turns to eating disorders. When I was 18, I rode a 20 pounds bike and sold my free and reduced price parts that I got for poker and taco money. I thought the better way to improve power to weight was to just turn my legs faster. Drawing. Every single time. Been an artist for a long time, and this is still true some days. Some days I'm hit with inspiration and feel like I need to draw something. Then it ends up looking like butt. Other days I'll sit down to doodle and come up with something better than if I'd tried. This is honestly the truth. Like, how come I can draw actual good artwork one day, yet another day it looks like that of a 3-year-old? Honestly, I'm just happy to hear others go through this as well. One day I nonchalantly drew literally the best piece I've ever made. I wasn't even trying. A week after that I fell out of practice and had to relearn my studies. So satisfying. I know how that is. Then there's days you want to draw but you're not in the zone. I'm an amateur painter and I know a few people who are professional artists. The craziest difference between me and them isn't the end product, but how long it takes to finish. They can do in 10 hours what it would take me 100 hours to do. Same here. My wife and I can sculpt too, almost, the same level, but it takes me 10 times as long and much more heartache. She wings it and can eyeball a design in minutes, meanwhile I'm slogging along for hours. We're both good, it's just a real. How to say it? We're both good, but her full forces punches my ego in the testicles with how effortlessly she outstrips me on craft skills. Good thing I'm pretty. My girlfriend is a professional musician with a double major in it. I've been playing guitar on and off for a decade. I feel you, Edit. I love her and our relationship though, we're both experts in different but complementary ways. It's amazing having not just a loving soulmate but an artistic partner. For the record, we're both women. I tinker with music, writing electronic stuff, sequencing, sound design, etc. I played piano as a kid, played sax in middle school, etc. My brother never stopped playing piano, practiced jazz, improvisation, played sax in marching band and stage band through high school, piano jazz band in college, and learned music theory. Every time I have what I think is an interesting sound or idea, he can take it, run with it and make something infinitely more interesting and better played in almost no time. It's amazing and amazingly demoralizing. I used to spend all my time in school just drawing things nonstop and ignoring teachers. I was getting extremely good, but then when I got into college, we didn't really write things down that much. Work was either done on the computer or just self-quiz with a booklet that covers the lecture material. So right after high school, after not practicing drawing anymore, all my drawing skills went into the dumpster and I've never been able to draw anywhere near that level again. Sad. Edit. Everyone replying to this has been awesome, thanks for your wholesomeness. I read and upvoted every comment, but there's too many to reply to. Creativity is a muscle. If you don't use it, it atrophies. Dude, never skip creativity day at the gym. Is that guy curling a number 2 pencil? Yeah, I saw him doing shoulder presses with a sketchbook earlier as well. Same hat. I got to the point I was taking printer paper with me around school so I could draw full page things. And ignoring the teachers. Graduated? Nothing. What has been helping me was doing Drawtober/Inktober every year. I tell myself I'll put pen to tablet every day, at least open the drawing app on my phone. Save the video games for after. Most of the time, a mark turns into a drawing and I don't get around to video games all month, but my skills came back. Why can't I just draw lines? Okay, I thought the same thing, until I followed a tutorial on YouTube. I was truly amazed at how well my art turned out. I am not a good artist at all, but she makes it so simple to follow along as she creates a picture. Sort of like a digital art Bob Ross. Highly recommend to all. Web link. Drawing a bicycle from memory is particularly hard. Has anyone tried to learn to do a handstand as an adult? How is that so difficult? Thanks, but I'm trying to do the unbroken wrist thing in my life right now. Try yoga. I started and thought it looked so easy. I always worked out. How hard can it be? Holy crap, I have face planted and fallen on my ass more times than I can count. My muscles were so sore. It is a great workout but dangerous. You just have to accept that you may fall over, and not hunch your body up protectively. Start against a wall with someone on hand to catch your spills. A trusty spotter should help you relax enough to let your legs fly free. Source: am definitely an adult, have relearned handstands and cartwheels in my dotage. Making, and maintaining, friends as an adult. I never really put much thought into this, until I had no friends left in adulthood, and realized how easy it used to be as a kid in school in comparison. Any good methods you can share? Asking for a lack of friend. For me, it's around shared hobbies and experiences with anyone you do know, even a coworker. Before the pandemic, I joined a local amateur volleyball league, and after games, some of us would go out for dinner and drinks. A few people were into board games, so we started meeting up for that. Another group of friends was just some co-workers who would drink on Sunday nights to bitch about work, and as people quit, we just kept meeting up to talk crap, so even though we all work at different places, we still meet up. What if you have no hobbies or interests? Asking for a friend. I literally just started sewing. When I went to the fabric store for the first time this past month, there were so many helpful people giving tips, advice, teaching me about fabrics. Some of them told me about classes in the area or YouTube channels. And this is for a hobby I started a month ago and am really enjoying. I'd say look through YouTube or Instagram to find things that catch your interest and spend some time learning about it. Then challenge yourself to try it once. Could be cooking, join a book club, learn to juggle, try your hand at sewing, photography, etc. Even if you don't find people with the exact same hobby, it also makes you an interesting person because you have a hobby to talk about. Wishing you luck as you find something that interests you. I was overweight and lonely in 2014, so just joined a running club. The following 2 years were awesome. I lost 16 kilograms and ran half marathons, got invited to more stuff, reconnected with old friends, cause I wasn't so boring and depressed. I'm just getting back into running now, and I realized how much I missed it during the pregnancy and young kid stage. Moved cities at the beginning of the year. COVID hit and I've been working from home since I got here. Still haven't met anyone new here to hang out with because of the virus. Doesn't help that I've put on COVID weight and don't want to meet anyone right now because of it. Laughing out loud, it is definitely a weird experience going from having strong friendships in a place you're familiar with to trying to make new friends in a place you don't know yet. Try not to mind the weight too much, friend. That seems to be a shared experience this year, haha. If you can, call up a friend from your old life tomorrow. You'll be glad you did. I also put on COVID weight, as well as other people I know. I think that's the nice thing about meeting new people, there's no expectation for you to be anything but yourself. Especially during the pandemic where we're all having a hard time hitting our stride. On the first trip to England, after renting a car, it proved to be a considerable challenge to drive on the other side of the road from what I was used to, especially in the roundabouts and on major highways. Stay left, 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 stay left. It's worse when there's little traffic. You get confused because you're on the right side of the car and there aren't many other cars to remind which side is which. Nighttime really seems to screw people with other side driving. Something about night seems to make things more instinctual. If you threw in roundabouts and traffic, I'd just refuse. This was exactly my experience in Ireland, first day there, jet-lagged and just wanting to get to my hotel. During the day I was good, but then night fell and rain came. I went right through the center of a painted roundabout and turned into the wrong lane. First time I went to Ireland and rented a car, we spent about 5 minutes going around and around the same roundabout because the driver was too nervous he would turn into the wrong lane when we exited. It made no sense, but there we were, driving in an endless circle. Losing weight. OMG, the temptation of eating cookies is so big. Edit. Wow, this had so many votes. Thank you guys. The moment you buy them, you lose. This is the real truth. The easiest way to not eat something is to not have access to it. Because it's not about having the willpower to resist temptations that are right in front of you. It's about creating a situation where the amount of effort and/or money you would need to spend to satisfy your craving is enough to derail it. Especially if you have a less good but still pretty good option that's so much easier to get. Mixed nuts and fruit are lit. The cravings only go away after weeks/months of successfully fending them off. Absolutely this. And you get willpower fatigue too. I've lost 73 pounds this year and it's about not giving myself easy access. If I buy a treat, that treat is going to get demolished immediately. When I give myself a cheat meal, I order something from a restaurant that can be eaten in one meal and then get back to normal, more sensible eating. One meal doesn't make you fat or derailing good habits. Buying 2 large pizzas and eating it all weekend absolutely will. One of the worst things to happen to my waistline was when they extended the opening hours at the corner supermarket. It used to close at 2000 hours and all of Sunday. I'd get hungry at like 20:30, but the store was already closed, so temptation averted. Now the store closes at 2200 hours and I can get some crackers or chips late into the evening. Cravings are strong, but for me not wanting to go out again is stronger. As long as I can skip them on the way home, I'll be safe. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.